What exactly is a light body? Well, lots of people talk about a light body, but very few people actually understand what a light body is. So, my name is Nancy Rebecca. If you're new to my channel, welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm going to be talking about what a light body is and what a light body is not, based on my perspective of studying the human energy field for 30 years now. To really being inclusive, especially of my own energy field, where I practice different things to see what works and what doesn't work so I can share it with you. So everyone, again, talks about a light body. We can all imagine what that might be like, having a body that is just filled with light. You might even kind of assume or know what a light body is, but often you can really struggle with, well, how do you explain what a light body is, or how do you understand what a light body is? So at the spiritual level, you can really take that in, but at the human level, we might not be quite at the frequency where we can tap into that higher knowledge and understanding. So I'm going to try to filter it down to bring in a little bit more information. Trust me, becoming more of a light body is a really, really, really good thing. But just like growing from a 3-year-old into adulthood, you've got those achy bones from growing pains. So creating a light body, becoming a light body, can have similar growing pains. So then it makes you wonder, like, why would I want to do this? So your body's ability to take in more light, it truly is a really good thing. So let me explain from my perspective and my spiritual guides. So, and here's the other thing for many of you, just like me, who's been kind of cleaning house a lot so that you can feel more comfortable with more of the light of your own soul coming into your body. And you can imagine that you are creating a light body, but you can question, like, why do I still feel so off? Or why am I not there yet? So we'll just kind of jump in. So, okay. So we're going to just play with imagination, because imagine your spirit. That's your spirit's tool to communicate with you, is imagination. And often we're taught that as you become adults, you need to stop playing in imagination and you need to get real. But in actuality, it's a really high-level spiritual tool that your spirit uses to communicate with you. All right, so imagine that you have your house. You have a big house. And in the olden days now, when I was young, so we'll say like the 70s and 80s, everybody, they had the bedrooms, they had maybe they had a rec room, they had the kitchen, but they always had this kind of living room off to the side that was for only adult entertainment, meaning the adults would hang out in this room, the kids would hang out in the recreation room. Well, the recreation room has the televisions, has the games, has all the bells and whistles, has stacks of puzzles or books to read. It's got nice comfy couches where you can just kind of hang out with the dogs and the cats and the kids. And then you had that special room that was just for adults. Well, we went through this transition where nobody ever used that room. At least the room in my house never got used. It had the nicest furniture, had the nicest tables, it had the nicest kind of beautiful little knickknacks and decorative lamps, which was, it was really beautiful. Now, you've got this room, so I'm going to read my notes because I wrote all this out, and then I'll kind of explain in between. So imagine a dark living room, because the light is going to be turned off because nobody goes in there. No one ever goes in there. It's an extra room. It doesn't have TV. It doesn't have game consoles. Nobody wants to just go in there and just sit, right? Every time someone in the family walks by with their hands full of stuff, they might just throw it into that empty, dark room with the promise that they're going to pick it up later. And suddenly a house guest come and now you're saying, quick, everybody, get up. Let's clean it out. I don't care what you do. Throw it under the couch, put it under the couch cushions, just get it out of sight because we've got this sudden, the in-laws are coming. And so suddenly you're up and about. You're like, I don't care where you put it. Let's get it out of sight. Get ready fast. So now you've thrown more things into that room. So, and everything, including the dog toys, get thrown into that room because why? Nobody ever goes in there. Now, over the years, everything is thrown into this room that nobody ever goes into. Now, suddenly, you've decided to personally develop. You are ready to downsize your physical body being in the front seat. You're kind of downsizing. It's like, okay, your body, your mind, your ego is going to be secondary decision maker. You're starting to move your spirit more in front. You're starting to bring more light into the body. You're starting to allow your spirit to provide the spiritual perspective of things that you are faced with in your life. And for that to happen, more of the light of your soul comes into the body. But here's the thing, you need to downsize, but what that's going to require is for you to sell the house. The kids have grown and gone. It's just you and your spouse, or maybe you by yourself. And you've got this huge house you've got to get cleaned out, get it ready to put on the market. And suddenly you turn on that light in that room and it is just full of stuff that you've been putting there, your family's been putting in there over many, many years, and it is packed. So suddenly you turn on the lights, the room, floor to ceiling, filled with loads of stuff, old stuff, unusable stuff. What you're beginning to do is you're beginning to build that light body. But now more of the lights coming into the house, you've opened the curtains, you've turned on all the lights so you can see what needs to be packed up. You're bringing more light in, but really what it's doing, it's showing all the clothes in the corner, the shoes under the couch. It's showing stains on the carpets. So you've got your hands full. Your light can be uncomfortable. And this is where we can kind of get stuck. You feel uncomfortable in that light. So as you clean out this room, more light comes in. You're moving the boxes off the floor. You can see the light shows the light. The light illuminates the space in the floor. You clean up the stain in the carpets. The light's able to show the brightness of the carpet. So the more the light comes in, the more stuff you were unable to see before, but you're still creating a light body, and it still might not feel good, and it still doesn't mean you're not moving in the right direction or you're doing something wrong. It means you're doing everything right, even if it doesn't feel good. It's kind of like exercising, and you stretch out and you're doing good things for your body, but man, are you sore for a few days. It's very much like that. So again, the more light you bring in, before you know it, you've just cleared 6 dump trucks full of stuff, and yet you still have 20 more dump trucks to clear. You might not even want more light to come in, and this happens often. So as a spiritual teacher who teaches intuitive psychic development, I get to witness this all the time, and our team is always trying to get people over that hump. Like, don't quit, don't give up on yourself. You can do it. You're not doing anything wrong. So keep moving. So I personally have witnessed so many people who devote their entire life to their personal spiritual development, and after all that time, they still might have a lot of stuff. I've been doing this for 30 years. I still have my stuff. I just landed on something yesterday. I'm like, how did I not see that in 30 years? I still have my stuff to clear. So you may or may not want to bring more light in. You don't want to see your stuff. It can be painful to see. And here's the thing. What I've noticed, like in the past 40 years, so I remember I don't even know what made me think of therapy. Maybe it was suggested, but 40 years ago, I go into therapy, and we're taught to slow things. Therapy really helps to slow things down, really helps you to get a sense about what's going on the inside of you, really provides you with tools to really, look at the stuff in the living room, but also look at your light at the same time, and that your light's illuminating. But you're going to process, well, maybe I need to go through this box to see, why did I store it? Why have I not needed it all these years? Well, when you're in therapy and you're learning to process, we do think we need to really slow things down. But here's the thing, the light frequency is flooding into all of humanity to help bring in more of that light frequency. So it's dissolving things really rapidly. So if you have a belief system that you have to understand everything you're letting go of before you can let go of it, then that might be a problem. It feels like I have like a spider web, like you can just feel this little tingling. So this is the thing, we just can't right now. We can't process everything. We need to trust and have faith that the light of our soul is coming in. It's dissolving, letting go of what's no longer needed. And if it does stay right in one spot, you want to have trust and faith that that's the one you need to process. You don't need to process everything, but if your spirit's going to put that box in front of you, like, nope, don't load that up in the truck for the Goodwill until you open it up and you look at it. So trust and faith that your spirit will guide you as to which parts to process or not. We also, a lot of people, especially when they're empathic and they're feeling, and their feelings are really confusing, you can be taught to feel everything. Let the feeling flow through your body. You want to allow your body to have feelings. It can be very, very healing. But I will tell you, with the people that I've worked with that take a lot of time, let me feel it. I can't feel my grounding. I keep trying, but I can't feel it. I'm waiting to feel it. So I have students who just struggle to even ground because they can't feel it. It's like, let that go. Don't hang your hat on that, having to feel everything. So trust, again, the light of your light body is going to dissolve all of that. And what you really need to feel, your spirit's going to make sure that you feel it. So just don't sit in it. Let it dissolve unless there's something specific. But trying to feel absolutely everything can really slow your progress. So you can get frustrated, you can get pissed off, you might want to quit, you say, why bother? It's easy to say, well, if I had dealt with all of this stuff in the moment that it was happening, I wouldn't be in this position. But that's just not true. When I think back on 45 years ago when my son was born, whoa, I just didn't have the tools that I have now. I may have thought I was doing all the right things. And now it is 45 years later, my perspectives are different. I have different tools to deal with it. So again, if you wonder why you didn't deal with something in a healthy, appropriate way back then, you just didn't have the maturity or the tools at that time. You've got to let that go. You need to come current in the present moment. And so this is the thing also, new frequencies, these new high, beautiful photonic light frequencies that are coming in, they're bringing you, I don't even know, whatever, like this photonic light, they're bringing in all this wisdom and knowledge at a higher frequency for you to download into your light body because you are ready and you are able. You could not have created this light body 40 years ago or 20 years ago. So remember, creating a light body is not quite the right word, because you are allowing your light body to rise to the surface. You're allowing it to shine. It's already there. Your light body's already there. You have light in every single cell of your body. but it's just covered with stuff. And so we are in this big process. All of humanity is in the process of uncovering stuff. And when we get to some of those places at the bottom of the barrel, it might not look pretty. It might not look pretty. Where I just maybe thought that I was a really nice person, and then I get underneath and it's like, wow, there have been times in my life maybe I wasn't so nice. So again, take a deep breath, kind of rise up and expand, because now I'm going to jump into what a light body isn't, and we're going to talk about the 7 main categories that I believe a light body is. But it's always important that you have and add your own information about this. All right, what a light body is not. A light body is not extra special. All right? We got in a lot of trouble in Lemuria and Atlantis and all these other advanced ancient cultures that go back millions of years, when those who had more light maybe felt like they were better than. And so it's the same now with our spiritual teachers, our spiritual leaders. They are not better than you. They're not better than you. If they have more light, they're not better than you. If you have more light, you're not better than them. So if you have a really beautiful light body, it does not mean you're extra special. It also doesn't mean that you're smarter, because yes, you do have a light body, and yes, it is illuminated with loads of higher knowledge and wisdom, but everybody has access to that knowledge and wisdom. It just might be covered with stuff. So you're not extra smart. You're not wiser. You don't have the be-all, end-all answers for anybody else, only yourself. You're not the light code queen or king. It doesn't mean, again, you're extra special. It doesn't mean you're elevated or above anybody else. So these are egoic things when it's like, I have, this beautiful light body and I'm here to save the world. I'm the queen of everything or the king of everything. That is not what a light body is. And a light body does not mean that you are a galactic light worker. It doesn't mean that you were born to bring in more light so that you could connect with the whole universe. I'm going to explain a little bit more of that, but sometimes people may feel like when they have a lot of light, they're supposed to do something with it. A lot of healers are like that. A lot of psychics are like that. They think, oh my gosh, I'm getting this information. What am I supposed to do with it? Well, let me just get into what a light body is, and maybe that will explain a bit more. So a light body it raises the frequency of the cells in your body. So you've got these billions of cells that make up your body. They're always sloughing off and rebuilding and sloughing off and rebuilding. When more of the light of your spirit begins to move down through. So imagine a lot of marbles in a jar, and you pour the water in, and it's going to go through all the little marbles. So it's bringing light in and around and hopefully inside the cells. What happens if the cells are holding a lot of toxins, so let's say you eat Dorito potato chips for breakfast, lunch, and dinner for several years, and if you think I'm exaggerating on that, I'm not. There are people that just eat one type of food all the time, 24/7 for years on end. And so once the light comes in, their body is going to start purging. It's got to purge the toxins, all right? And then you bring in more light. It's like, oh, I got to purge more toxins. Bring in more light. Oh my God, I've got to purge more toxins. I love the idea of chocolate cake. I wish I could eat chocolate cake 24/7. But it's like later on, you got to pay the piper, right? You just got to say, I got to purge this now. I don't know if that was worth it. All right, number 2, ascension symptoms mean purge the light. So the light's coming in, you're purging. These are causing ascension symptoms. So what are ascension symptoms? Low self-esteem, panicky or depressed, having headaches, being nauseated, deep fatigue, maybe having really confusing dreams. You can't think straight. You can't focus. You're looking at life in a really complicated way. It's like you can stumble and lose your balance. Your tech equipment's going out. Like a lot of that can be signs that you're going through growth symptoms. Your body is sharing with you happily, guess what? I'm purging. I'm sorry that you have a headache, but I'm purging. I'm sorry that you can't even be in a room full of light because your head hurts so bad, but we're purging all this old toxic thinking in the brain. Isn't it exciting? And you're like, no. So what your light body is saying, what your spirit is saying is like, I'm excited. Support your body through the aches and pains, but try to get your perspective to be a little bit more excited. Rejoice because you're purging. So what? You can bring more light into your body. So number 3, light body spark. The light body sparks your mitochondria. So in each of your little microscopic cells that you can only see under a microscope, there's an even smaller little bit called the mitochondria. So the mitochondria generates energy to power your cells and the biochemical reactions. So what this means is more energy. So if and when your light body moves in and it's purged around the cell, inside the cell, now it can move into the cell, it sparks the mitochondria, it means more energy, more light, more exuberance, more laughter, more playfulness, more excited about life, more motivation. You kind of get the idea, right? So, and fast recovery of your body. So if you get sick, you get an injury, the mitochondria are so sparked by your soul's light that it can rapidly heal and repair. Number 4, you're going to love this. A light body is enhances, what I want to say, gets you in touch with the fountain of youth. As the light goes, your light body becomes a light body, and you increase the light, you are glowing, you are radiant, your little light shines throughout everything that you do. You start to look ageless, you start to look timeless because time and space change as well. We are moving into a time where we're going to be living longer because we are having light bodies. So a light body is a fountain of youth. Number 5, in your light body, you can manifest quicker. All right, so it is your spirit, your soul that manifest, not your human body. Your human body is incapable of manifesting without the light of your soul connected to that dream and desire. So now what's going to happen? So let's say that you want to manifest a car or a job or a house, and you got a lot of stuff here. Your spirit's floating above the body. I feel like I need to take a deep breath because the frequency is so high in this video that I'm trying to bring the knowledge into my body. All right. So you have dreams and desires, but your spirit's floating up there. Your light's up there. Now, and so for you to really manifest, you need to have more of your light in. So now you've been purging, clearing stuff. More of the light comes in, your star cells start to really illuminate, radiate. You have a dream desire, and it is loaded with light. It manifests faster. Load with light, it manifests faster. You think something, you feel something in your heart. You just know, I know this is going to happen. And then your light just really infuses it, and so you can manifest faster. A light body helps you, number 6, to see the bigger picture, that you're not limited by the thoughts of your mind or your limiting belief systems. When more of your soul light comes into your body, you cannot view things from a stuck perspective anymore. It's just not possible. You start to see your neighbors differently. You start to see your workmates differently. You start to see yourself differently in a more beautiful way. So you're able to see the bigger picture, the spiritual perspective. And then number 7, it makes you, your light body, makes you more authentic. You become more authentic, more relatable, and more approachable. So you might feel like you've got a head cold, but if people are coming up to you and saying, wow, your energy feels great. Oh, I saw you across the room and you just seem to be glowing and I just wanted to introduce myself. Those are ways you're going to know that even if you don't feel good, your light body is developing. So if you have any more impressions about what a light body is or a light body isn't, I would love it if you would post it in the comments section. People love to read different perspectives. And again, if none of those perspectives fit you, well, then meditate on it and get your own perspective. Now, if I were to talk about it from that perspective of the earth, as you start to have more of a illuminating light body, the underworld and all the creatures of the underworld, the little people and the fairies, they're going to be very attracted to you. You're going to have an easier time seeing them. They may come to the surface of the earth, or you may find that easily your light body can transport down into the underworld and visit with the unicorns and the dragons and the little people and the fairies, and there's lots of gods and goddesses, a lot of cool things there. And so, and the trees and nature and animals. Now, as you become more of a light body, you're going to be able to transverse those interdimensional levels and frequencies much easier. So you'll be able to transport through portals easier. You'll be able to visit other planets easier. You'll be able to go to the Akashic records easier. So there's a big bonus plan with you becoming a light body. But again, that purity that's really coming through the blue light of truth and purity that's dissolving lies, I have that as a free gift. I'll put the link here, and thousands of people have signed up for it, and they've been really meditating with it. That's going to help you kind of get a jump on this as far as cleaning out your stuff. But you can also look up the intuitive style questionnaire as well to get an idea about how you get impressions about your light body. And then we also, if you're seeing this recording in time, we've got the fall equinox that's coming up, and I'm counting down the days because it's really going to raise the roof of the frequency. We're going to do massive clearing of stuff in that event. So that link will be here in the body as well of the write-up. Oh, I can feel it. I can feel it. I can feel it. And I can feel like I need to stop this video and go and ground myself, because when I think about a world where we are looking at everything and making decisions about everything in that pure light, I get super excited. It's been a long time coming, and we might have a little bit more time, but that's okay. I think we're doing great. All right, everyone, take care. Have fun becoming your light body.